الله ربنا هو الإله له من الأسماء ما اصطفاه الواحد الحي كذا المليك والملك المالك لا شريك.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. قال الله تبارك وتعالى: يا أيها الذين آمنوا أنفقوا مما رزقناكم من قبل أن يأتي يوم لا بيع فيه ولا خلة ولا شفاعة والكافرون هم الظالمون. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. Dear brothers and elders, today is the 29th. Today is the 29th of Jumma Thani. If the moon is sighted this evening, then Rajab will begin immediately, right? So Rajab, Sha'ban, then Ramadan. Immediately when Rajab begins, it's the road to Ramadan. It's a preparation to Ramadan. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as narrated by Anas radiyallahu anhu, he says that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would recite, إِذَا دَخَلَ رَجَبْ قال اللهم بارك لنا في رجب وشعبان وبلغنا رمضان. Oh Allah, give us barakat in Rajab, give us barakat in Sha'ban, and let us reach another Ramadan. Just a few days ago, we went to the graveyard to bury our dear Musalli brother Saeed Ansari. Right? Many of us, we know him, his great qualities and good nature. But it's a reminder for all of us. Nobody knew that, okay, this is the final Jummah for him or a final Ramadan for him. The next one he won't be there. Nobody knows these things. Right? But when something like this happens, it has to affect the whole community that, look, this is the reality of life. And the earlier we pull ourselves out of this deception, the better it is for us. If a person realizes this when he's very, very old, now he has the hidayah, but ability is not there. He cannot do much. The earlier this person understands that this dunya and everything connected to it is nothing but a test, is a deception. When we put somebody into the grave, they don't even have their clothes with them anymore. Right? What is left behind? Just the actions. How they dealt with people. How did they fulfill the rights of Allah? How did they fulfill the rights of those around them, the servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? The scholars have said that every person, without even mentioning it particularly, nobody has to be told this, that everyone works in the direction of shaping a good life. We're just brought up with this mentality that, okay, I have to improve. I have to become better at this. I have to have more wealth. I have to have more knowledge. We're always working on a better life. Whereas our pious predecessors, who learned from their lives, who study their biographies, you'll see that their direction of effort was to have a good death, a good end, so that the life coming hereafter would be what? Filled with blessings. اجعل خير عمري آخرة وخير عملي خواتيمة وخير أيامي يوم ألقاك فيه. A Bedouin is making dua and he's saying, oh Allah, make the best portion of my life the last portion of it. وخير عملي خواتيمة. Make the best action that I do the last action that I do. وخير أيامي يوم ألقاك فيه. Oh Allah, make the best day of my life the day I get to meet you. He's talking about what? The end. So that once you leave this dunya with iman and a'mal salihah, you're good to go. I was there with the family when Brother Saeed, the ventilation, they were about to take it off. Right? And subhanAllah, till the last moment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala kept him with iman, with a'mal salihah, with all the family members there, the children, brothers, sisters, everybody. It showed that this person did a good job with his rights of the service. Everyone testifies that he was regular musalli. So on the day of judgment, people will be saying that yes, this person used to be regular in the masjid. Yes, this person took care of his family. So leaving the dunya with good qualities is what we are targeting. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts the stamps of success. If today I'm doing great spiritually, but tomorrow I'm not, then all of this is gone to waste. Similarly, with our knowledge, we might be learning a lot, but in practice is not there when the time comes to meet Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not look at our degrees and our name and fame and titles and whatnot. So immediately when Rajab begins, the preparation has to start. If we want to see ourselves doing good in Ramadan, being able to take benefit of all the great qualities of Ramadan, we have to start now. There's only 2 months left. So that means every day, baby steps towards a great Ramadan starts right away. One of the things we can work on is what? Generosity, taking care of others, giving preference to others over ourselves. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught the Sahaba that make sure that you are giving preference to others over yourself. This is why scholars have defined generosity in 2 ways. They have said there is Jud, the word Jud, that means generosity while you are consuming the wealth yourself, others are benefiting from your wealth as well. This is general generosity. Then there is a higher level of generosity known as Sakha. Right? Sakha. What is that? That we start to stop thinking about ourselves and we have preference of others. And we found this in the life of Sahaba Ikram, where they were ready to even die with thirst. They would rather give them water to their brother first. That is possible, but it takes effort. Baby steps to get to that quality. Similarly, stinginess and all evil acts have stages as well. So we have to work in both directions that, okay, I'm avoiding all the evil acts and I'm working towards the right direction. Bukhl, stinginess, that also has stages. The ulama ikram have defined stinginess as what? Alladhi la yakul wa la yukal. They have said the person, he can eat the wealth himself, but he doesn't want anybody else touching his wealth. Then they have said there's a higher level of stinginess that's known as shuh. Shuh. وَمَنْ يُوقَ شُحَّ نَفْسِهِ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. Who has stayed away from all types of shuh. What is shuh? They have said that the person doesn't like to use his wealth at all. Not even on himself. That's how much he's attached to it that it will come to an end. This is something that is found. It's a disease we have to work against. So being attached too much to the dunya leads to the point of thinking more for this life only. And being attached to the akhirah means every day we are doing something to see the benefits of that in the hereafter. Every day. There's progress. And especially when Rajab begins, there has to be constant progress. Scholars have given the example of a fan. They said if you want to give up a sin that you have been doing for many, many years, the first thing is, what's going to happen that you stop doing it, but for some time it's going to leave its effects. So we don't want to have sins in our account in Ramadan, so we have to stop them right now so that by the time Ramadan comes, we're free from that form of disobedience. Similarly goes with the good actions that if we want to do the highest level, that means mustahab a'mal in Ramadan, we have to start with the sunnahs now. Right? Work on our faraid. If I'm not even praying all 5 prayers right now, how do I expect to become a wali of Allah right when Ramadan begins? Right? So this is something to ponder over, that in this time and age, the scholars will push the idea that, okay, now Allah is bringing your life towards a beautiful Ramadan, and it starts right when Rajab enters. And like I said, today is the 29th of Jumma Thani, so we will announce in the evening if the moon is sighted, then Rajab begins. If not, then one more day, and it will start from Saturday. So in these type of, every time you should know what's the Islamic day, what's the Islamic month, what's going on, how do I connect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the best shape? What is knowledge? To know at every time what Allah wants from me, right? That's what true knowledge is. So the scholars have mentioned about generosity. They have said that Sahaba Ikram got to the point where they're ready to stay hungry and thirsty, and they took care of others. Then we see people after them in the generations to come, they have done the same. Once Hassan radiallahu anhu was walking, and he sees a person taking his trained dog with him. The dogs, we know that they are allowed for security in particular reason, not as house pets. So in that case, he was taking care of his dog. So Hassan radiallahu anhu notices that this person stops to eat, and he breaks the bread, 50% for himself, 50% for his dog. Exact amount. Not that he's eating more and less for the dog or he's completely disregarding. He said he noticed that the amount he eats, amount of morsels he's eating, he's giving the same amount to his dog. He goes up to him and he says, "Ma hamalaka ala hada?" What made you do this? I see that you're taking care of this dog to that extent that whatever you're eating, you're giving the same amount to your dog. He said, "Istahat aynaya min aynihi an ughadinahu." He said, "I just feel embarrassed that I eat in front of the dog more than I'm giving it. The amount that I'm giving should be the same. I feel my inner self does not allow me to eat more than the dog." He said, "Who are you?" He said, "I'm the servant of so and so." So Hassan radiallahu anhu went to his master, who was Abad ibn Uthman, and he said to him that this servant of yours I want to purchase. And the garden he is walking in, I want to buy that garden as well. And he comes to the servant and he says, "Anta hurrun li wajhillah," that I have bought you and the garden you are in, and from today on, you are free for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the garden you are living in and walking in today, you are the owner of that. So what caused this? The generosity that Hassan radiallahu anhu saw. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala changed the circumstances for the servant. Freedom came and wealth came as well. So Luqman Hakim, if you heard about Luqman alayhi salam, the whole chapter of Quran is about, one of the chapters is Surah Luqman, wisdom. And one of the things that he mentions to the son, he says, "La tansa ihsanuka ila nas." That he says that if you have done good to someone, don't remember it, forget about it. And if somebody وَلَا تَذْكُرُ إِحْسَانَكَ إِلَى النَّاسِ, and if somebody has done good to you, don't ever forget it. Don't ever forget it. Even the smallest favor somebody does, we should know that this person did this. And when we do good for others, forget it. We'll see it, inshallah. Allah has Allah has appointed angels to write these things down, and we will see these investments, inshallah, multiplied on the day. The similar case of Hassan and Hussain radiallahu anhu and Abdullah ibn Ja'far radiallahu anhu, they were going for Hajj, and they found difficulty on their way where they're lost. For some reason, they lost their sustenance. Now looking around where to go, they find a small shelter with an elderly lady there. They go up to her, she did not recognize them. So she said that, "Look, I see that you're lost, you don't have anything. I have this small goat, you can have it for milking, for food, it's yours." Without even knowing that these are the grandsons of Rasul. Abdullah bin Ja'far is the cousin of Hassan and Hussain radiallahu anhu. She did not know who they were. For Allah, she just showed hospitality. So now, what happened? They're eating and resting and they're appreciating everything, and they move on. The husband comes later on and says, "The only goat that we had, you gave it to some strangers." We didn't even think about our own sustenance, our own dinner for today. That basically was ours. Right? So he became angry with her. After a few years, their condition deteriorated. They moved from there to Madinah Munawwara without even knowing about the grandsons of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And in the marketplace, this lady was found looking for sustenance, making cheap transactions just to make things work for her household. So Hassan radiallahu anhu saw her after many, many years and said, "Do you recognize who I am?" She said, "No." He said, "That you don't recognize, you probably don't even remember the good you have done." She said, "No, I don't remember what I did for you." So Hassan radiallahu anhu then said that, "I definitely remember who you are." And obviously, at that time, the Muslims were flourishing. Allah had given them so. So Hassan radiallahu anhu appointed 1,000 goats, 1,000 gold coins for her, and said, "Go and meet my brother Hussain radiallahu anhu." She goes to Hussain radiallahu anhu, he appoints 1,000 goats, 1,000 gold coins for her. He said, "Go and see my cousin Abdullah bin Ja'far radiallahu anhu." She goes to him, and he says the same, but he doubles it. He says 2,000 gold coins, 2,000 goats. So, فَرَجَعَتْ مِنْ أَرْبَعَةِ آلَافٍ. She comes back to her husband, who was complaining at that time, with 4,000 goats and 4,000 gold coins, saying that this is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has rewarded our husband. So she did not remember when she did this good deed, right? But the person she did it for did not forget. Appreciation was there. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opened up these qualities for these people. Now we have to think now that, okay, how many days I have left, how many months, how many years, we don't. What kind of investments am I taking with myself? That from the grave all the way to the bridge of Sirat, to meeting Allah, يَوْمَ يَقُومُ النَّاسُ لِرَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. Every person has to stand alone in front of Allah and give account. Yes, what did you do? Where did you spend your wealth? How did you earn it? What about your kids? We gave you kids, we gave you wealth, we gave you... Imagine that, right? So scholars have said before going to sleep, put yourself to account like this, that if you are put to these questions, are you able to answer them or not? And most of us will fail, will fall short. So Rasulullah one was taught the dua, Allahumma hasibni hisaban yasira. This is a regular dua that we should have every single day. Oh Allah, make my accountability easy. And hisaban yasir means without any accountability, Allah will be putting a huge amount of this ummah into Jannah. May Allah make us all amongst those people. But from the preparation of Ramadan means taking baby steps from now on. Some scholars have given the example of seeds. They said put the seeds in Rajab, then put the water in Sha'ban, and the plants will grow in Ramadan. And why do we want them to grow in Ramadan? Because Farz is equal to 70 Farz. So now you'll be bearing more fruit in the beautiful month of Ramadan. Then comes the connection with the Quran. If we are at a certain age in our life and we still haven't learned how to pronounce the beautiful words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's time to really look into that. It's the kalam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One of the brothers, I was asking him about how much he's able to recite. He said, no, I don't recite it. I just read the English translation. So he was under this assumption that, okay, I can just read the English and I'll be okay. But was the English revealed by Allah? Iqra, Iqra. First verse of it. Rasulullah says something, Ma ana biqari, Iqra, Iqra. He's not literate. And he's being told that you have to recite in this manner. He was made to memorize it. So this teaches us what? That the kalam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is divine. And every person that connects with the Quran, that Quran will come into the grave. And they'll say, don't punish this person. The scholars have said, Quran, sadaqat, fasting, zakat, and iman. These are those things that will be in the grave with this person, right then and there. And they will not let any harm come to this individual. Now where's all the family members and friends and people who used to, look out? Everyone is responsible for themselves. The amal will be there. But where are your friends? Don't worry. You're not lonely. We're here. They'll form light for him. They'll form space for him. They'll stop the azab and different forms of punishment for him. And who has told us this? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The news of the Prophet we rely on more than anybody else. It doesn't have a single % of doubt. If there is doubt, we have to tell ourselves, no, this is the truth. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for all of us. Please continue making dua for all the people, especially those that are sick, those that are, they've lost somebody. It's good to reach out. We could do it with the regulations. We don't have to go into people's homes or hug and shake hands, but still, getting a call, going up to somebody's home that, oh, we heard somebody from your family has passed away, we're here for you. That means a lot. Similarly, delivering some food, delivering some gift, it makes us feel connected. Or else, the mentality that we're leading towards, it's isolated, everybody to themselves, right? Keep to yourself, keep to yourself. That's how it's coming to now, even our salat is being isolated. So we have to hold on to those things that keep us together, finding out about each other, helping. وَتَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْبِرِّ وَالتَّقْوَى الْمُؤْمِنُونَ كَجَسَدٍ وَاحِدٍ. Rasulullah in so many narrations have said that all of you are one. All of you are one body. Take care. If somebody's weak, then everybody should go after that weakness and remove it. If somebody is going through trouble, everybody should feel it. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless our community and make us the ability to practice, and let us prepare for the beautiful month of Ramadan. Wa akhiru da'wana, and alhamdulillahi.